Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Recap. All right, we've got a Gossip Girl-like question of ethics with regards to how we, as Bachelor Nation, deal with gossip, or as y'all like to call it, tea. The idea that we are as guilty as those that drop the tea for consuming the tea. Maybe not as guilty, but possession is a part of the law, right? How does that work out? So anyway, just a Gossip Girl graphic. But let's jump right into the question now. A nice call out from a stranger here a couple hours ago on the Bachelor subreddit, where I get probably 95% of my info. Not hiding it. All right, so they said, let's not ignore the role of this sub in targeting Jenna. Now, of course, we're talking about Jenna Cooper, who Reality Steve said he had verified information that she was cheating on her fiance, also in Bachelor Nation, Jordan PragerU's finest, Kimball. Not an actual university, I digress. So, by the way, if it looks like my eyes are twitching, they are. I got too close to the bleach spray bottle, #domesticated Dave. So, yeah, I'm having an issue here. So this was a kind of one of those, hey, don't forget, we're a part of the problem posts. After listening to the Chatty Broads episode featuring Jade and Jenna, I Googled Jenna to learn a little more about what happened to her. It was kind of shocking to see how huge of a role this sub played in targeting her and spreading hugely false and damaging rumors about her, such as identifying her so-called sugar daddy, who she never had a romantic relationship with at all. On the Chatty Broad, she said she learned later that he was having an affair with one of her friends. It seems like the stalkers who cooked up the lie were active here too, and this sub ate it up. I wasn't around here then, so this made me appreciate much more why this sub is careful moderating today and why it's still so harmful when we pile on, believe unverified tea, or go too far sleuthing. Anyway, we're talking about Reality Steve a lot right now and giving him rightly deserved criticism, but we should also remember that this sub plays a big role in the same toxicity. Hey guys, it's the gladiator and we're in the audience cheering till somebody's death, and then that's just what's happening. I'm not saying that so that we all just feel bad about ourselves. Let's just acknowledge what exists within us. The gossiping. We'll get into, I'm going to read a quick snippet about the ethics and morality of gossip and what it actually is, but that's what we do. We like to find clues. We've got this DNA blood where we're all treasure hunters trying to find the old hidden immunity idol, which may or may not be the receipts that somebody's cheating on somebody else. You know, as if our life is not full of enough drama. So the moderators basically said to this comment, hey, we weren't there now, but now we kind of deal with this better. And they do a good job. They said the situation with Reality Steve is very tricky. He reports spoilers, but also puts out tea information that he claims to verify. While the mods don't want to allow harmful information to spread on the sub, it's not really possible for us to ban discussion of tea that Reality Steve puts out there. I know people have asked me, will you stop posting spoilers from Reality Steve? It's come on. No. If there's information that's out there, I'm gonna report on it. I'm gonna try to be as fair as possible. If anything, I'm gonna just try to use my critical thinking skills and media literacy to read whatever he's saying and see if it's even worth talking about, or provide some sort of dissenting opinion or whatever it may be. I think that's the best way to deal with information, is to find out. It's almost like why I once in a while will rage watch Tucker Carlson, or not. I don't have cable, but like Fox News, and you see, oh wow, that's what other people are thinking. It's never healthy to just drink the tea from whatever corner of the world you live in. It's good to broaden our horizons. I'm not promoting people, change their points of views. I'm saying, know thine enemy. All right. So it was very interesting. And let's see, before I get into that. So here's one of the articles. This is actually almost a year old. A Bachelor contestant was the target of an intricate misinformation campaign. Now the online fandom that canceled her wants to apologize. That's how it works. We swing the pendulum at the target, and then we just obliterate everything in the way. I mean, it's kind of the way the U.S. sadly, has their foreign affairs. I'm going to lose all the audience now, but it's like, all right, yeah, we'll just blow up a wedding and trying to kill one target. It's called collateral damage. It's the wrath of it's trying to light a candle or having a gender reveal party, and then you end up burning down half of California. I mean, that's literally what it is. So it's like we need to be better and more careful at how we receive our information and spread it, and also just nip it at the bud. I am not preaching from a place where I have talked about stories that end up being not true. Absolutely. Let's just try to leave the car cleaner than when we borrowed it. Does that make sense? Anyway, I don't know. That's a stupid analogy. Anyway, she was popular on The Bachelor. The accusations, which reality TV blogger Steve Carbone amplified in a podcast, gained momentum online, where fans of the ABC show frequently ridiculed Cooper and posted unverified information about her past. Look, we do this. I'm from New England. After the Boston bombing, are you kidding me? It was a manhunt. Everyone was on their social media they were finding the wrong people and doxing them, and it was just like an incredibly weird, toxic, addictive thing that we do. It's not just Bachelor Nation, it's humanity, it's society, it's social media, it's the ability for us to do our own research. That's like every QAnon, they're like, just do your own research. It's like, well, if you Google some weird stuff, you're going to get some weird answers, you know what I mean? After a year of investigating and gathering proof that the claims were false, Cooper approached Carbone to tell her side of the story. Steve Carbone officially retracted his story and apologized to Cooper, spurring subreddit contributors to take accountability for their role in the spread of misinformation. Short of some sort of monetary, I would place the damage, again, I'm not the court of law, that was done to Jenna at around $350,000. That's just what I think it was worth to her. I think she was caused a mid six figures amount of damage that should be repaid to her in some way or another. I'm not saying that there's a society where that can happen. I don't know if it could be proven that he operated with the intent to, and knew that this information was false. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure if he believed it to be real, he's not liable for the damage in the court of law. Again, I'm not Abby Thomason over here.
Handle the truth.
I don't know the actual laws. I'm not Brian Friedman, power attorney at large. They're never at small. It's never Brian Friedman, mid bottom at small. No, it's not. Okay. So anyhow, folks, the wrath that has been caused by people speaking out within the community against Reality Steve is, he's cast a large wake with what he's done. So Tayshia talked on her podcast. I don't have the video version yet, so I'm going to read some of these spark notes that some users on Reddit curated here. Tayshia said, "I hate this man." She talked with Joe and Natasha and guest Christina Schulman, because Christina Schulman just kind of came out saying basically Reality Steve made her, was responsible for hell in her life. So he posts opinions or unverified info as facts and often gets too personal. Tayshia felt that Reality Steve's attacks against her were deeply personal. Christina also felt Reality Steve had something personal against her. Reality Steve falsely reported that Tayshia had a boyfriend right up until the night before filming for Colton season. She still gets social media comments to this day about this, even though the supposed boyfriend came out and said that Tayshia and him weren't even dating. Reality Steve falsely reported that Tayshia and Zach broke up and that she was dating Brendan, and that Brendan's not. Brendan's got to, he's with Piper, or who's he with? He's got, I can't remember. I can't keep up on these stories, guys. Is he with Piper? Who is it? Anyway, let me know in the comments. I have always liked Brendan. But he broke the story that they broke up. And of course that's going to get into Zach's head. This affected Zach, got into his head and his family, who were concerned that Zach was possibly second choice. Tasha had to address these rumors to them. Tayshia, sorry. I was thinking of Tasha because people go, oh, how could it get into their head? How could it? Because they're humans. I used to have this troll that would comment on my videos and tell me that Tasha's cheating on me, my fiance. And it's like, I spent the last year social distancing. Tasha and I haven't left each other's side for over a year for the most part. And it's like, but even with that said, I'm not accusatory. I trust her completely, but it still makes you look stupid. It makes you feel stupid. People are like, oh, what's going on with that? It's like, people just want to believe some random person on the internet. People want to believe Reality Steve. I mean, this is just what happens. Natasha asked a few of her castmates whether they got messages from Reality Steve, and they all said they did. So I guess initially people thought, well, people just throw Reality Steve all this info. What's he supposed to do? He's giving all this info. And then it's kind of coming out, you've seen how the sausage is made. You're going, well, he's reached out to everybody with info that he had, trying to parlay it into other info. It's some weird poker game no one wants to be a part of. Christina said Reality Steve would message her saying he has dirt on her, and she would ask him not to post stuff. He would go ahead anyway. He kept messaging her, but she ignored him. They think he seems to have an underlying issue with the women of Bachelor Nation, much more so than the men. The women fear the power that he has over them to ruin their reputations, and he seems to be particularly targeting women with his falsehoods. Joe summed it up nicely. Reality Steve is a douchebag. So anyway, that's the whole story. That's you can go listen to that whole podcast over there. But to falsely report that you broke up with someone, it might not seem like a big deal, but if you're already having a rough day, everyone's got their own issues in life, we don't need anyone to have their foot on the scale to weigh it more in the direction of life being tough. Life is tough. It's hard on people, folks. You know what I mean? All right, so by the way, I do want to promote that I have got my 4 p.m. birthday live stream today. I am turning 26 for the 10th year in a row. USA, USA. So if you want to come over to that, there's a voicemail number you can leave, and I'm asking people this. I'm saying, call me up, make it less than a minute if you can, and tell me a story about how you and I met. Make it fake. The most outlandish fake stories possible. I love ancient aliens. I love Bigfoot. I studied abroad in France, and I love pizza. So if you can figure something, I'm giving you some cues. Do whatever you want. Make it up. Make up a lie. Leave the voicemail, a call, and at 4 p.m. I'll be playing everyone's voicemails. We'll have some fun with it and all that jazz. Now, gossip as a burdened virtue. This is an article I just Googled. I like to randomly Google things and read about it. Whenever there's an article that has no razzmatazz to it, this is like the opposite of the Sun's website. I'm always like, oh, this must be kind of smart. It doesn't have any of the extra, zhuzh to it. So it's Mark Alfano. He says, gossip as a burdened virtue. Gossip is often serious business, not idle chit-chat. Gossip allows those oppressed to privately name their oppressors as a warning to others. Of course, gossip can be an error. The speaker may be lying or merely have lacked sufficient evidence. Bias can also make those who hear the gossip more or less likely to believe the gossip. By examining the social functions of gossip and considering the differences in power dynamics in which gossip can occur, we contend that gossip may be not only permissible but virtuous, both as the only reasonable recourse available and as a means of resistance against oppression. So, in terms of the levee breaking on Harvey Weinstein, in terms of everyone finding out Reality Steve is a douchebag. I'm not comparing their two crimes, completely different. In terms of people going, oh, that person's hard to work. And, when there's a lot of gossip and people start chit-chatting about the same thing, there is a resistance to oppression there. Now, when gossip becomes the rubbernecking, we all know rubbernecking is when you're driving by a car accident and it backs up the highway 20 miles because everyone wants to go by at 3 miles an hour and pretend like you're on CSI and being like, oh yeah, the skid marks, there's a coefficient of friction. Oh, look at over there, there's a headlight. The motorcyclist did it. You know what I mean? It's like, who are we? Who are you? So, it is a burdened virtue, but there's other issues to it. Talking about others behind their back is a time-worn tradition. It can be a fun way to pass the time or a cathartic way to blow off steam. But gossip and related speech acts can also be deeply serious. So there's issues where it's good and not necessarily good, but there's issues where the gossiping is okay. But then the forum that Reddit provides is a place for people with no recourse to their gossip to just throw meat out for the tigers. Here, go have some of this. And when you start doing that, they start getting aggressive. And then next thing you know, someone's getting their arm bitten off. Will Rogers said, the only time people dislike gossip is when you gossip about them. And maybe it's possible I feel this way because I've been gossiped about. I've been soft canceled in different ways. I've been shamed. I understand what it feels like. I understand what it feels like to be misunderstood. For someone to get a little bit of info, create their opinion, but not have all the facts and not ask me about that. I understand. Does it keep me on my toes? In some ways, it can keep you on your toes, but these contestants shouldn't live in fear. They shouldn't live in fear that they have damning info from their past that Reality Steve's going to surface. They shouldn't live that way. We've all got a past that we've all rolled our eyes at things we've done or said and want to move forward in life and be better than who we used to be. And Reality Steve auditing who that is, it really makes them live in some weird form of terror. A terror that you and I can't truly understand because we haven't been given the platforms they have. But it's something where we have to look at this tea that we talk about, and we have to look at it as like we're dealing with nuclear, like let's be careful here. Let's be careful what we do with it. In newsrooms, they've got salacious information. They need that second source. Anyone can be mad at somebody else and create, whip up Photoshop and make something look worse than it is. Even the Grace Ammerling thing with Matt James and Rachel Kirkconnell, we don't know what happened. We know her side of the story, but even she had to kind of tone down Reality Steve and correct him. So we don't know is going to be my response to a lot of different things. Now, we'll still talk about things, but in a way that hopefully digs us out of just pure gossip and more into, okay, here's some facts we can work with. Here's some information we can take a look at. But in the end, we don't know. So let's just be careful because we don't know. But anyway, I don't call it tea, whatever the spoilers are that I have, but I do call it dumping doubloons. And I'll tell you what, a subscriber sent me this, dumping doubloons. doubloons. I think this is a pretty good. So whenever I've got new information that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, I'm going to call it dumping doubloons. Maybe I can get like a DJ over there. Does anyone know a DJ Bijou? Dumping doubloons. You know, some foghorns or whatever they use. But anyway, folks, that's going to be it for me. Just be careful who you bang. And when you get out there, make sure to stop by the 4 p.m. live stream today. And if you haven't already, and you want to check out my vlog, do-it-yourself patio setup. Tasha and I got our patio. We did it all by ourselves. We got a artificial turf, drone shots of the setup, new chaise lounges. I think you'll like it. I think you'll like this little world that we're building. I appreciate you guys all being a part of it. And again, I had a video earlier today about Sarah Trott. Similar situation. A lot of people didn't like her. Now we're looking at her and going, oh, maybe we're a little too harsh. She's trying the best with the information she has. Isn't that what we are all doing? All right, folks, I'll see you at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Call the voicemail number. Let me know how we met, and we'll talk to you then. Bye now.